46 on this Tuesday. This year's above normal rainfall certainly helping our drought situation. More specifically, Arizona's 20,000 farms and ranches who desperately rely on every single drop. But is this season's wet weather leading to a bumper crop? I went down to Casa Grande to follow up with a longtime farmer to find out.
See that water right there? That's gorgeous.
Irrigating crops may seem like a normal part of the job for any farmer, but to Nancy Caywood, what's flowing through her fields is so much more. It's hope. I feel like there's hope in there.
That's exactly what it is.
And hope has been in short supply in recent years, not just here on Nancy's farm in Casa Grande, but on farms across Arizona.
It's killing us. You're at nature's mercy. And if we don't get water, how can we keep going?
This was Nancy when we first met in 2021. Concerns over the Southwest's mega drought had turned into concerns she'd have to sell the farm, which has been in her family for more than 90 years.
This whole farm went dormant.
What is that like to look into your fields that you and your family have spent decades working so hard in, and to see them empty?
Yeah, that's hard. You know, I guess the first thing you look at is the canal and you see it dry. And I know that, you know, I started reflecting on my past, and I was thinking, we can't plant anything. This field is going to go dormant. What's going to happen to our farm? And it's a very emotional. You get choked up. You know, you can feel the tears start.
But instead of the tears flowing, this time the water is.
All of a sudden we started getting rain, and we're just as happy as can be.
So where I'm standing is the canal behind Nancy's farm. She says a year and a half ago, it was bone dry, but look at it. You can see the water is really flowing through it. Nancy says it's at least 4 to 5 feet deep.
Our unseasonably wet winter now paving the way for a summer of success for Arizona farmers. Look at the latest levels at the Coolidge Dam, which at one point last year had dried up. But when we checked in May, the Coolidge Dam had 515,600 acre-feet of water, nearly 4 times the average, which is about 138,000 acre-feet. So what does all that excess water mean for Nancy's crops?
It looks like night and day from when I was here the last time.
Yes, and it is.
When I was first at the farm in 2021, much of this alfalfa patch looked like this. The land was cracked, depleted, and as the crops dried up, so did the opportunities.
It was bleak looking, and you know, it was depressing. It was hard to know what the future was going to bring.
But not this year.
Things are just looking really good for us, and I cannot tell you, you don't wake up with a stomach ache every morning. You don't call your son and see worry lines on his face when you see him. You don't call him and listen to him talk about, I don't know what we're going to do.
Nancy expects to get at least 8 cuttings from this alfalfa field. Last year, she got 4, and in 2021, she only got 2.
Does this mean you're good for a season? Is this something that could keep you good for several seasons?
I think it's going to keep us good for a couple of years, maybe 3 years, and especially if the rain continues. You know, a lot of people think the drought's over, but only time can prove that.
And that is such a good point that Nancy makes. She's right. She and other farmers aren't out of the woods just yet, so she's committing to finding ways to cut back on her water use. She just had somebody come in and level the land where she's growing corn. She says it's already making a huge difference. So coming up next Tuesday, we're diving deeper into inflation and how our rising costs continue to impact farmers and what kinds of costs are getting passed down to the rest of us. So tune in for that next Tuesday on ABC 15 Mornings for that story. But I love Nancy. She's so good at putting everything into perspective for us.
And it really helps to make this whole water story make sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And Iris, I know that that's something that you and the rest of our Impact Earth team have been staying on top of and keeping a very close eye on.